made the extremely tough decision to leave my husband last year after being with him for 21 years. We were married for 8 years. And my ex-husband is not a bad guy, wonderful father. But there were some things that would send people into orbit when I would tell them things. Like, number one, and I'm not exaggerating, my ex-husband did not tell me that he loved me. That sends people into outer space when I tell them that. That was something that I accepted, we'll call it accepted, but now I see it as settling. I had accepted this about him, but what ended up happening is years and years and years of what I will consider emotional neglect, unintentionally. I began to resent him, and there's a few videos that I want to make of things that I've learned, especially with us coming up on 1 year divorced, and what I learned about divorcing the good guy and what a villain that makes you, how hard it is on your kids. I just want this to reach someone going through the same thing or thinking about divorcing the good guy. And if you have questions, if you have concerns that you have for yourself or your kids, drop it in the comments.
I cancelled my date, and the guy thinks that my reason for cancelling the date is really unreasonable. He was actually really shocked that this is how things went down between us. I personally don't think I was unreasonable. I want to know what you all think. So basically met this guy on a dating site. We matched, we chatted, and we've been talking on the phone for a while. Now, he lives about an hour and a half's drive away from me, which I couldn't see a big deal in at the time, so we carried on chatting, getting on really well. He's a lecturer. We seemed to have this intellectual connection. The banter was really good. And you know what? I relaxed my pre-date rules and agreed to a proper date because, I knew the conversation would be good, and because he was travelling that extra bit to come over. So I thought, okay, fine, let's do a proper date so that it's better for him. Now, as we got close to the date, he was like, so where are we meeting? I suggested some places. And he said, but they're all in Derbyshire. And I was like, well, yeah, because that's where I am. And then he said, but I thought we were meeting halfway because that's a bit of a trek for me. And I went, yeah, I know it's a bit of a trek for you. That's why I agreed to a dinner date. And he was like, but what's wrong with meeting halfway? And I was like, well, that's something I don't do. I expect the guy to always come to me. That's how I've always done it. That's how I do it. And that's how it's going to be. So, if you're prepared to come and meet me here, then we'll go on a date. And he's like, you're being really unreasonable. He said, this is shocking. He was actually shocked, and he said, it's shocking. Because I can't believe that you're not prepared to meet halfway. Like, all this chat, all this time, what a waste. And I was like, wow. I was like, well, you know what? This is how it is. You want to go on a date with me? You have to come to where I am. Otherwise, forget it. Let's leave it then. And he put the phone down. And then he rang me back. And he was like, Mandy, honestly, seriously, like, why can't you just meet me halfway? And I'm like, seriously, why can't you just come here? Duh. So anyway, I said, leave it, just leave it. Goodbye, I wish you all the best, bye-bye. And then obviously he messaged a bit more, his frustration, his shock, and that I'm being really unreasonable. But I just said, look, I wish you all the best, goodbye. So what do you all think? Do you think that I'm being unreasonable, or do you think that's perfectly gentlemanly behaviour to always come where the lady is?
I want everybody to take a wild fucking guess how many drinks I paid for tonight. Zero drinks. Does anybody want to take a guess as to how many guys asked for my number? 3, the answer's 3. How many guys asked to come home with me? 2, the answer is 2. How many was I interested in talking to? Fucking 0. Why? Because I want to talk to the guy that left me on fucking red. I am uninterested. We literally just went through this situation, and I haven't learned my lesson. I want the ones that don't want me. This is definitely an attachment problem. I have an anxious attachment with the ones that don't want me, and an avoidant attachment with the ones that do. I want guys to want me, I just don't want them all the time. I want obsession, but I need space. But not too much space. I'll take some breadcrumbs. Damn. I just want a hyperfixation to work out. At least for a little bit. I want to have fun, flirty fun, and be into somebody I'm actually into. It's a rough life out here. Anyways, this fucking one guy goes, "Where do you live again?" So I gave a general direction and he goes, "Could you take me home?" Why do guys want to be princesses so bad? And I said it just like that. I said, "No," with this look on my face. And he goes, "Well, why not? I'm on the way." And I said, "Because you're a grown man and it's not my responsibility to get you home." And he goes, "Well, fine, just sit there and look like you hate everything then." Fuck you to the highest degree. I don't know. I need a new hyperfixation. I need somebody that's obsessed with me, that I can be obsessed with, that when I pull away and get avoidant, lets me do that. So yeah. And if I hear the opening line, "What are you doing in Vermont?" one more time this week, I'm gonna start racking up bodies.
21 years with a decent man, a stable home, a father to her kids, and she still walked away because he didn't say "I love you" enough. Love is showed through actions, not words. The fact he treated her right showed her that he loved her. So the real question is, did she tell him that she loved him? Because her actions proved otherwise when she divorced him. She convinced herself she was settling, not because he was abusive, not because he failed her, but because the relationship stopped giving her the emotional fireworks her TikTok feed trained her to expect. Divorcing a good man doesn't just hurt him, it detonates the kid's stability, fractures the family, and forces her into a dating market where nobody is lining up to replace the life she walked away from. Septum ring, tattoos, and lip filler proved everything we already need to know.
Nasty bitch.
In her mind, a man showing effort isn't enough unless he shows all the effort, while she contributes nothing except her presence. She genuinely believes that her personal dating rule, "the man must always come to me," is some universal law of nature instead of an entitlement she invented on the spot. She framed his completely reasonable request as an attack on her dignity. Meanwhile, he simply expected something adults call reciprocity. She said dating is exhausting, but she is the one who is exhausting.
Jeez, what a bitch.
She gets 3 guys asking for her number, 2 trying to take her home, pays for 0 drinks, and somehow her brain is still locked on the one guy who left her on red. She's trained her nervous system to chase the man who doesn't want her and run from the ones who actually do. She wants obsession, then demands space, but not too much space. She'll take breadcrumbs as long as they come from the guy who treats her like she's invisible. This is why so many men check out. She isn't actually dating, she's feeding a psychological addiction. And until she fixes that, every good man she meets gets pushed away while she keeps chasing the one who couldn't care less.
She's an idiot.
Real men of genius.